Hi, my name is Yannering Santos, and the topic I chose was how global climate change is affecting marine animals. As I said before, global climate change is affecting marine mammals. Direct observations have been made on two species that have reacted to these climate changes. The two species I chose were Phocoena sinus and Monodon monoceros. Monodon monoceros is an example of cetaceans that live in the polar zone. They are also called narwhals. This ice-associated species has adapted to sea ice environments for survival. The estimated population of narwhals is more than 80,000, but is continuously dropping. Inuits hunt them for food, skin, and tusk ivory, and climate change also causes a decline in narwhals. Phocoena sinus, also called Phocoena, has the smallest geographical range and lives in the northern Gulf of California. Phocoena are already endangered because of gill nets and entangle them, and with the help of climate change, they will soon become extinct. Climate change is affecting the entire ocean. The temperature of the ocean's water is increasing, causing a drastic impact on marine mammals. The most vulnerable species are the ones that would become extinct sooner than the others. It is difficult to determine how the species are going to react to global climate change. But the question is, how will cetacean species react to changes in water temperatures, such as Phocoena sinus and Monodon monoceros? The first experiment was to group cetaceans by predictions of how the species would react to the change. They were grouped into four categories, which were cosmopolitan species, cooler water limited species, cooler warmer water limited species, and warmer water limited species. The cosmopolitan species are species that live in different temperatures of water, which is assumed that they will not be affected by the change, and the cooler and warmer limited species are species that live in intermediate temperatures. Here is a figure that was produced by the first experiment. The different shades of color express the water temperatures found in the different regions of the world. The light gray indicates sea ice. The blue color indicates the subpolar, which is less than 5 degrees Celsius. The white color indicates temperate waters, which are greater than 20 degrees Celsius, and red color, which indicates tropical to subtropical waters, which are greater than 20 degrees Celsius. Here's an enlargement of the picture. Here is a second table that was produced by the first experiment. At the bottom, you can see the vaquita, and it tells you that the vaquitas live in subtropical to tropical waters, and that they are potentially in high risk of being extinct. The narwhals live in polar to subpolar waters, and are at high risk also, only if the Arctic sea ice disappears. The main factor that is affecting their survival is the temperature of the water. With the increase in the water temperature and the decline in habitat availability, the risk of extinction is high. This experiment provides evidence that 21% of the world's marine cetaceans have had a decline in habitat availability, which increases the risk of extinction. The enclosed nature of the vaquita keeps them from moving into lower water temperatures. But if the vaquita did migrate into cooler water temperatures, the migration into new territory is risky. They will be mixing with species that they have never seen before and could be exposed to parasites and diseases that their bodies cannot fight. How will Arctic marine mammals react to the reduction of sea ice caused by the climate change? The second experiment was to separate Arctic marine mammals into three categories: ice-obligate species, ice-associated species, and seasonally migrant species. Here is a figure that was produced by the second experiment. You can see that the ice-obligated species and ice-associated species have a negative reaction when the sea ice melts, but the seasonally migrant species have a positive reaction when it melts. Here's an enlargement of the figure. You can see the negative and positive. And yeah. The most evident effect that the climate change has done is in the polar ice habitats. The temperature warmth is evident through the great reductions of ice coverage. There has been a 40% decline in sea ice thickness. The rapidness of the changes will not allow species to adapt. Climate change is moving to the top of the political agenda of some countries because the scientific evidence on climate change is now overwhelming. The main question is how well can the species adapt with the climate instability? While having little information about the extent of the adaptability to change of any marine mammal species, the available evidence is that they are highly vulnerable to the impacts of climate change. As more evidence accumulates, knowledge of the impacts of marine mammal grows. Urgent assessment has to be given to the vulnerable species that live permanently in polar regions and those that live in restricted range that may not be able to move away from adverse changes. Thank you for listening to me and hope you have a great day.